1. Anchoring bias. Anchoring bias is a cognitive bias in which an individual relies too heavily on an initial piece of information, known as the anchor, when making subsequent judgments or decisions. The initial anchor can be completely arbitrary, but it has a powerful influence on how people interpret and evaluate subsequent information. 2. Confirmation bias. Confirmation bias is a cognitive bias in which individuals tend to seek out, interpret, and remember information in a way that confirms their pre-existing beliefs or hypotheses. This bias can cause people to overlook or ignore information that contradicts their beliefs and overemphasize information that supports them, leading to flawed or incomplete conclusions. 3. Hindsight bias. Hindsight bias is a cognitive bias in which individuals perceive past events as more predictable than they actually were before they occurred. This bias can lead people to believe that they would have predicted an outcome, even when they had no basis for doing so at the time. 4. Illusory superiority. Illusory superiority is a cognitive bias in which individuals overestimate their own abilities or qualities in comparison to others. This bias can lead people to believe that they are better than average in various areas, even when objective measures suggest otherwise. 5. Loss aversion bias. Loss aversion bias is a cognitive bias in which people place greater emphasis on avoiding losses than on acquiring gains of equal value. This means that individuals often have a stronger emotional response to losses than to gains, even when the two outcomes have the same objective value. 6. Overconfidence bias. Overconfidence bias is a cognitive bias in which individuals have an inflated sense of their own abilities, knowledge, or skills. This bias can lead people to overestimate their likelihood of success in various domains, and to make overly optimistic predictions about future outcomes. 7. Recency bias. Recency bias is a cognitive bias in which individuals give greater weight or importance to more recent events or experiences, while disregarding older or more distant ones. This bias can lead people to overemphasize the significance of recent events and to overlook important information from the past. 8. Sunk cost fallacy. Sunk cost fallacy is a cognitive bias in which individuals continue to invest time, money, or effort into a situation because of the resources they have already committed, even when it is no longer rational or beneficial to do so. This bias can lead people to make irrational decisions and to persist in unproductive or harmful situations. 9. Availability bias. Availability bias is a cognitive bias in which individuals rely on readily available information, rather than objective facts or statistics, when making judgments or decisions. This bias can lead people to overestimate the likelihood or significance of events that are more easily recalled, while underestimating the likelihood or significance of events that are less salient or memorable. 10. Gambler's fallacy. Gambler's fallacy is a cognitive bias that occurs when individuals believe that the outcome of a random event is dependent on previous outcomes or that the occurrence of a particular event is more likely to happen because it has not happened recently. This bias can lead people to make irrational decisions based on false beliefs about probability.